Okay, so I have some free time over, and I really would like to give my take on chiropractic and more explain and go into detail about what it is and how people can benefit from it. Because I feel like chiropractic is very misunderstood and people don't have a really good idea about what it is or how it can help you. It's a little bit of a niche healthcare, and it's very important that we as chiropractors communicate it correctly. So that's what I want to try and do now. So chiropractic, well, I'm a chiropractic student, so my knowledge and understanding is not fully developed yet. I've only studied for a little bit more than 1 year, so I'm inside of this process trying to dive into this huge world of healthcare and chiropractic, and there are so many branches, so many different healthcares, and so many things to consider. But from what I understand and from my perspective and opinion, chiropractic is a way of life, a healthcare profession, and a lifestyle which main goal is to remove subluxation from the human body. And I'm going to explain what that means. But this is the main goal. Chiropractic wants to remove subluxations from the body in order to facilitate good performance and also good health within the person. When I say that, you might be questioning what is subluxation. Maybe many of you have never heard this term before. And I can put it down to as simply as the fact that subluxation is when the nervous system is interfered with. There is an interference of the nervous system. So the nervous system is basically you. It's what controls everything. So the brain and all the nerves and the spinal cord that allows the brain to communicate to the body and allows the body to communicate up to the brain. That is the nervous system, what controls everything in you and every single function in the body, and some of them are automatic and some of them are conscious, that you think about them. So now we have this clear. We have a restriction in the nervous system. And this can come in many different forms. One common thing in chiropractic is to explain the 3 T's. The 3 clear and main causes to why a subluxation within the body occurs. So we have thoughts, trauma, and toxins. All of these 3 can cause a subluxation within the body. So first of all, trauma. This is the easiest one to understand. Let's say that someone is in a car accident and they get hit really badly and their back is affected. So one of the bones, one of the vertebrae in the back gets misaligned into the wrong place and it gets injured. Now you have a subluxation because you have the spinal cord in the spine, in the spinal canal, and if the bones are not properly aligned here, it can interfere with this flow of communication from the brain to the body, from the body to the brain. So this is a more mechanical view on subluxation. This vertebra is now out of place, and what chiropractic can do in this case is to adjust the vertebra back into the correct movement and the correct positioning. This is probably the most famous view of chiropractic. That's the chiropractor cracks the back, cracks the back, it makes a sound. That's basically just the bone going into the correct movement and the correct place again. So we have trauma. We have the second T, which is thoughts. Negative thoughts or bad thoughts or incorrect thoughts can also interfere with the communication between the brain and the body, of course. Because you are your thoughts. You are thinking. And if you are not thinking well enough, then your brain is constantly in a state of misalignment with the world, and it cannot fully interpret the world or control your own body in the most optimal way. We know this. If we think positively, we have more energy, for example. Then if we think negatively, we will just be down, not feel very good, have tired all the time and be depressed. This is also a form of subluxation because it's a interference between your brain and your body in the nervous system. Toxins, the third T, number 3. Anything that comes into your body, any kind of pathogen, bacteria, virus, pollution within the environment, any kind of toxin in the food. We have certain chemicals that they add in food that is not good for the body. This can also interfere with the nervous system because the nervous system is modulated by chemicals. Your brain and your nerve cells in the brain, they use chemicals. So if we disrupt this chemistry within the body, we also have a interference with how this nervous system functions. So those are the 3 big: trauma, thoughts, and toxins. All of these can cause a subluxation, and the chiropractor's job is to remove these subluxations as good as possible. And this is when you might start to see that it's not only about the adjustment, about the cracking that the chiropractor does. We can remove subluxation this way, but if we only do this and the patient returns to their normal lifestyle, they will come up again. Because they might be taking in toxins to the body with a bad diet, or they might be thinking negatively and causing stress on the body through their thoughts. So chiropractors also need to educate patients and coach patients in improving their lifestyle. Everyday habits, easy habits that can allow the body to thrive and get the improvement of the health in the correct direction. So there are so many tools in chiropractic, and this is really my view. It's more of a lifestyle philosophy. It's a healthcare profession that is also a lifestyle philosophy, and this is what really separates it from other healthcare systems, because in most healthcare professions, the main goal is to remove the symptom, and when that is done, you can just leave the patient. But if you leave the patient to continue performing bad habits day in, day out, the symptoms will never disappear. Now, this is another concept in chiropractic, the symptom thoughts, the symptoms perspective. The fact that in modern day healthcare, in many times, there is a big focus on treating symptoms and removing the symptoms. But this doesn't really work, because we see the body holistically, and we understand that behind every symptoms there is always a cause. Cause and effect is a law of the universe, so why wouldn't it be a law for the human body? There is always something underlying the symptom that is causing it, that we don't really see in many times. So why would you remove the symptom when the cause is still present and it's just nagging there all of the time? The symptom will just appear all of the time, or you will get other symptoms from, for example, side effects of medications. You're just shifting the symptom from place to place. But if you treat the cause and remove the cause, then all of the symptoms disappear. You see? And this ties back to the fact of removing subluxation, because subluxation is the cause that is causing the disease and the symptoms. And we want to remove this. For example, a negative thinking pattern, negative thoughts, one of the 3 T's of subluxation, can cause many symptoms like depression, anxiety, tiredness, bad motivation, bad mood swings. Should we give a medication to change the mood of the patient? No, it will have other side effects and we will just cause more problems. But if we just focus on the mental health, improving the thoughts of the patient, educating about ways to control the mind, then all of these symptoms are immediately removed and we have treated the cause of the real problem. So we want to do this all the time, and I think in healthcare there is such a good opportunity with the technology advancing so much and the world rapidly changing. I think chiropractic can be a central part of this change, and we can start collaborating more in healthcare with other professions. I don't want a battle between medicine and chiropractic, for example. I don't think it's the way forward. We need to collaborate and use the best abilities that we have and create a modern way of living that's high function of the people and a fully beautiful expression of health and performance. This, I think, is the way forward.